Hey, happy Tuesday. We got a lot to get to on the show today, including BS High School, not Barry on sports, but Bishop Sycamore. Go Fighting, whatever they are. I don't know what they are. We're going to get to that. Plus, it's a Two Fancy Guys Tuesday. Kristopher Hart going to join me. All that and more right now on Barry on Deck. Let go.
Live from the BiffNet Studios World Headquarters in Spring, Texas, it's Barry on Deck, hosted by former ESPN Houston radio host and stand-up comedian Barry Laminack, starring Oliver the Cat, written by Barry Laminack, produced by Barry Laminack, directed by, you guessed it, Barry Laminack, featuring sports, entertainment, special guests, film sessions, and some drinking. Okay, a lot of drinking. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, here's your host, Barry Laminack.
What's up, you damn dirty deckheads? Welcome to Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for being here. Today is Tuesday, August 31st, 2021, and this is episode number 323 of Barry on Deck. As always, Barry on Deck brought to you by the AP Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident, do yourself a solid. Put them in your phone number, 713-913-GO-AP, or log on to AP Law. See how I have to move the shirt? Log on to aplawgroup.com to get that info. Don't get bullied by the insurance companies. Actually get somebody that's going to help you win some money when you get screwed. 713-913-GO-AP. Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Good to have you all along here. I'm looking forward to today. It's a Two Fancy Guys Tuesday. Gonna have a lot of fun. Gonna have a lot of shenanigans. Got a lot of sports to discuss. This Bishop Sycamore thing is absolutely amazing to me. So we're going to get into it. I've got a film session for you as well. We've got Kristopher Hart from the Whiskey Neat Show and the Whiskey Neat podcast joining me today. But let's get started like we always get started with the greatest deckhead in the history of the world. Okay. I mean, I gotta get better production than that. That's not really getting it. I understand it. Okay. But shout out to my guy, Resendez, in the building. Eric was first in the chat, first like, first super chat. Triple Crown, Jeff Bell, put him down. Triple Crown. It's going down. Okay, I'm getting a little, I'm freaking out a little bit. Rudolph Rodriguez, I see you, buddy. Hey, Eric, thank you for getting here early, my friend. Thank you for being a great deckhead. You, my friend, greatest deckhead in the history of the world for the next 2 hours. And then it's back to just regular old ass Eric after that, okay? Rest of the chat shapes up like this. I see Keith Sagers in the building. Rudolph Rodriguez with my message of the year. Sanitize, wash hands, social distance. Buddy, I appreciate you putting that down every day. John Dory, CC. I see you, girl. Donna Rogers and Terrence and Francisco and VB and Jibby John. Hadn't seen Jibby John in a hot minute. Good to see you back, buddy. Mr. Chris Reyes, Mr. 1% is here. Gregory Vega Jr. in the building. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. G-Man is here. Lisa O is here. Who else? Incarnate and Matt Poche, Justin Swinford, D-Mata, Alex Villanueva, Walt Walker, Chris Day. What's up, girl? Philip Barnard, Mr. Heartthrob himself is here. And Pete Jones and Marshall. Mark G is here. Jeremy Vinegar, Aaron Little. Oh man, the gang's all here. We're all in early. I like that class is here. I say on time. I get it. Okay. By the way, can some of you just get new material, please? I almost cursed. I almost told you to go bleep yourselves. I tried to post a funny, ironic show promo video. I never do these things, but I had the idea for the shirt, by the way. Just go ahead and shout out Bishop Sycamore High School football 2021, whatever they are, go whatever. So I made a little video just to capitalize on the fact that hashtag's probably going to be hit a lot. I can spread some info about the show. It'll be ironic. The shirt, it'll be funny. You know what I mean? Some good solid promo for the show. And what do some of you have to do? What do some of you take the opportunity to do? I'm out here promoting the show. Hey, it's Barry on Deck. It's at youtube.com/Barry's Funny. We start every day at 2 o'clock. And some of you smart asses got to be like, more like 2:05. Y'all need new material, okay? You need new material. I'm trying to promote the show. You guys are trying to be funny in the comments. Like assholes. Don't be assholes, people. Get new material. Ugh. It's disgusting. Like, let me live my life. Let me promote my show. Out here in the comments acting a fool. Seriously, though, y'all do need new material, okay? It's just, yeah. Donna, sorry, I was a little late to it, but the shirt is top notch. I like the shirt. I think I'm going to come up with like a fight song. Oh, Bishop Sycamore, Sycamore, Sycamores. Oh, Bishop Sycamore, we lie, but we don't care. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. We're like 40 years old and still in high school. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. What does peanut butter and jealous mean? What am I jealous of? I'm not jealous of none of you hoes. Shoe check. Oh, what you think, P. Jones? You think Daddy wasn't going to be matching? Player, come on, fam. What, you thought I wasn't going to be matching? Look, come on, fam. I'm going to do this the easy way. Oh, rocking them sweet ass Air Max jewels. Got that little shiny Nike on there. Yeah, rocking them jewels, matching that Sycamore Pride, baby. Rocking that Sycamore Pride. Okay. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. I'm sick of you hoes and your dumb jokes. Hey, they are jealous, Brandon. They're jealous I'm out here trying to grow this show. It's not true. I wish so. I have a film session for today, but I couldn't find the one that I wanted. There was a guy. Two dudes got in a fight in a casino. One dude just got absolutely knocked the bleep out, and I can't find it. So if it was you that tagged me on it, please send it to me, please. Barry, when you show us your shoes, it makes me so nervous you're going to hurt yourself. No, look, I'm pretty flexible, right? We talked about this already. I'm like a cheerleader. I got that balance. Like, what you want? Girl, what you... Oh, I lost it almost. Girl, what you want? Huh? Come on now. I might be fat and chubby, but I'm still kind of athletic. Damn, I think I pulled a sciatica in my groin. I don't know if that's a real thing. She said don't. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. I need music. Let me go find we're gonna be singing that all day. I should have thought of this sooner instead of on the show. But I need you guys to help me write some lyrics to the Bishop Sycamore high school fight song. Let's see, high school fight song. Let's see what shows up on here. Sports song. That's not a sports song at all. This all sucks. You guys can't hear any of this, can you? High school. Let's see. Yeah, this all sucks. This is all whack. Well, we'll just have to write our own. Oh, Bishop Sycamore, y'all can kiss our ass. Oh, Bishop Sycamore, playing on ESPN. I'm going to explain what this is if you don't know. But before we get to Bishop Sycamore and the whole story. Oh, thank you, Mark G. Very much appreciated. Tagged you on that video on Twitter. Thank you, buddy. That'll be our film sesh for tomorrow or Thursday. And then I'll do today's. Today's is pretty good. Some dude freaked out in the Miami-Dade airport, and we got it. So that's what we're going to do. Let's start with your sports headlines for the day, though. The Week 1 matchup between the Packers and the Saints game could actually be moved to AT&T Stadium in Dallas due to Hurricane Ida. So you hate to hear that. But I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that city is going to be ready, nor should they be rushed into hosting this football game. And I understand football is important to the city of New Orleans, the state of Louisiana, and is a way to get people's mind off of things, but there's time for that. And I don't think rushing this, I think the NFL is doing the right thing by saying, hey, maybe we should put it off. And, it sucks for the Saints. It's going to be kind of a road game. But what you going to do? My dog is disturbed by Barry singing. She got up and left. Come here. That's because at Bishop Sycamore, we sick them dogs. Arr, 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 arr. Okay. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. We don't give a shit about telling the truth. I don't know. We got to come up with some lyrics. Tell your dog I'm sorry, Lisa. Cece said she's the homecoming queen of Bishop Sycamore. Of Bish Sick. That's what we call it. I think that we're going to get to it. Let me finish the headlines, and then we're going to jump into it. All right. Here's the rest of your sports headlines for the day. The ones that matter, Frank. Laramie Tunsil has been activated off the COVID list, so now he can protect a bunch of garbage. Okay. Fun fact, Laramie Tunsil graduated from Bishop's. Okay. 49ers, Trey Lance out a week with a finger injury. I'm guessing he injured it when he found out he wasn't the starter, but Jimmy Garoppolo was. And he was like, oh, really? Ow, I sprained my fuck you finger. Oh, language, Barry. Sorry. This is a family-friendly show. Rajon Rondo signed a 1-year deal. We talked about it yesterday in the headlines. Probably was going to be the case. He has. Now the Lakers' combined age is 100 bajillion years old. Fun fact, when the sun first ignited and became a star, most of the Lakers were there to witness it. Yeah, it's true. In fact, I think Rondo was the guy that flipped the switch to turn the sun on. It's a pretty old team. Fun fact. When Moses parted the Red Sea, the Lakers were on the other side fishing. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. That is absolutely a fun fact. All right, rest of the headlines look like this. Malcolm Butler is considering retiring from the NFL and football. And Jake Paul says he's now retired from boxing. We're going to get into that a little bit more. I don't believe him. I think this is kind of like when dudes look for sympathy and attention, and they're like, oh, poor me. Oh, nobody likes me. And they're hoping that people will like them and feel sorry for them. And it's like, dude, that's not how you're going to get people to like you. Sorry, Jake Paul. You're not going to get us to like you by saying you're quitting boxing. Most of us are like, hell yeah. Get out of here, you squirrel. Nerd. Beat it, YouTube Viner. No one cares that you're a boxer. You're not a boxer. You're definitely not a boxer. You're a showman and a fraud. All right. That's exactly what it is. He's going to come out of retirement and fight another match that no one gives a shit about. Blah. It's disgusting. Who's faker? The Paul brothers or Bishop Sycamore? All right, let's talk about this. We've been alluding to it all morning. Some of you may be in the dark. Some of you may not know what this means. And this is a big deal. Now I get it. This is NFL cut day, like Bernardrick McKinney cut. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be 100 with all of you folks. I'm going to be 100. I'm going to be more real with you than Bishop Sycamore ever would be. I haven't kept up with Texans cuts. I know. Look, if you want to go listen to 610 or 97.5, berate you with ESPN, with Texans information, I highly suggest you do that. That's not this show. This show is going to be about fun. And I can't think of anything less fun than going over Texans cuts. This team is awful. That's all you need to know. This team isn't going anywhere. The story and the headline will always be Deshaun Watson until he's gone. And then once he's gone, it's going to be how bad this franchise is and what they need to do to be likable again. So no, I'm not going to be going over Texans cuts and there might be some surprise. And Tyler, I'm not suggesting, I know you're a Dolphins fan, so you don't give a shit. And it is a surprise cut. But at the end of the day, I'll be honest with you. I don't think the people that watch this show could give two craps about any of the Texans cuts. And if you do, I get it. You're welcome to go listen to some boring ass radio talk about it for 3 hours. Not here. Not here. We would rather talk about gossip. Like, oh, Bishop Sycamore. We're all adults pretending like we're kids. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. Andrew distracted me. He said, let me be clear about Bishop Sycamore. This is not a one-off incident. Maybe this is the first of this magnitude, but there are many BS football teams out there. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me one bit, Andrew. All right, so here's the whole backstory. In case you haven't heard, in case you've been living under a rock. Alex, we're going to talk about that in a second. Now, in case Bishop Sycamore High School, which, by the way, I tweeted it out right before we came on the air. But I said, guys, it was right there in the name. Like, literally, if you would just have abbreviated Bishop Sycamore High School, it's BS High School. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. How did we miss that? How did ESPN miss that? So, basically, the backstory is this, and I never sent out the tweet for this show, so let me do that real quick. Let's see. Watch, sub, here, link. Going live right now, talking Bishop Sycamore and more, plus joined by Whiskey Pete in hour 2. Come hang. Watch, sub, here, BR. Okay, the tweet is out. Wow, Shockadopoulos with the shock bomb over on the Twitters. All right, so if you don't know what about Bishop Sycamore, it's a high school in Ohio. And if you look up their address, one of their addresses is right here. It's a duplex. The other is the library at Franklin University. So basically what this is all a big scam. It's like an online university, and all the players in this football team, a lot of them have already graduated high school. They're JUCO dropouts. There's a lot of stuff. I'll show you the list of things that we know about Bishop Sycamore. Oh, Bishop Sycamore, we fight until the end. Okay, I'm just trying to come up with a high school song. What's up, Stephen Luther? What's up, Nick? So they somehow finagled their way onto ESPN to play IMG Academy, who is like the Alabama of high school football. If there's one way to summarize who they're playing, you got this group of ragtag misfits from a high school that doesn't exist, that somehow, some way, and I saw Alex Villanueva saying, hey, give them credit. Don't knock their hustle. They got themselves on TV. Yeah, by lying and manipulating. That's not hustle. Okay, let's be real clear. Lying and making up a bunch of shit isn't hustle. That's just lying. So, yeah, they ended up on TV, and I'll have a statement from ESPN and what they said about it here in a second. But they ended up on ESPN playing the Alabama of college football, and that would be the IMG Academy out of Florida. And you can see this is the first quarter. They're already down 21-0. It wasn't going well, and it got worse. I want to say the final score was like 158 bajillion to 0. And I'm not exaggerating that at all. That's the legitimate score. 158 bajillion, 180 bajillion. There's a lot of zeros. They had to bring in other scoreboards that wrapped around the stadium to show the whole. It was bad. So then people are like, why is this team so bad? If you're going to put an opposing team on ESPN to play IMG, should they not get beat like 58-0? Well, people started looking into, oh, Bishop Sycamore. And here's no, that's not the facts. Here's the fun facts about Bishop Sycamore BS High School. Here's some things we know. They've had numerous, this is what they told ESPN, that they had numerous Division I recruits. However, people couldn't find a single Division I recruit. Not a one. They played in a game just 2 nights prior to the game against IMG that they played on ESPN, which, by the way, if you're wondering why this is a big deal, you shouldn't be running high school kids out and give on 3 days rest after just playing a football game to do it again. This is how you get concussions and CTE and everything else and get people hurt. What's up, Mike? I'll get to your comments in just a second. I'm going to read them before I post them because I think you're new here. And sometimes the newbies, they post racist shit. So I'll read them first. But welcome to the show, Mike. The program was only started 2 years ago. They are not a member of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. They gave 2 addresses to ESPN. One was a duplex that I just showed you. One was this sprawling metropolis. Just a random ass duplex who needs to fertilize their yard and trim their bushes. But who doesn't, right? Anyways. And the other was the library at Franklin University. Their high school coach, or excuse me, their head coach, has an arrest warrant out for him in Delaware, Ohio. And I believe it was a domestic violence charge, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull it up here. Yes, a domestic violence case from July 2nd. That is Leroy Johnson, their head coach. He was also ordered by a Franklin County judge to attend a trial for failing to pay back a $100,000 loan from First Merchant Banks. Also, a few years ago, when he was a coach at another place, he took his kids on a paintball team building exercise. Used 20,000 paintballs, 4 hours of staff time, racked up a bill worth $1,000. Didn't pay it. When they pursued him, gave him a fake credit card, and were never able to recoup the $1,000. So what I'm saying is that Leroy Johnson is a super stand-up guy. Can you believe that he would lie to ESPN after all this other stuff? Most of their players are mostly junior college dropouts in their early 20s. Some of the players are like 5th-year seniors, which in college is okay. That's not okay in high school. You don't have 5th and 6th year seniors in high school. So, no, not Leroy Jenkins. Definitely not Leroy Jenkins, although he ran into ESPN in this game kind of like that. Like, all right, let's have a plan. Leroy! And he just went. No, we're not doing that. So Mike said, I coached in Columbus before moving to Florida. Hell, even I had to Google this school. Online charter school that practices at a rec center. School got their funds by stealing from church donors. Oh, that's super shitty. That is super shitty if that's true. Anyways, welcome to the show, Mike. Thanks for not being racist and actually just contributing nicely to the show. So that's kind of what we know about the whole situation. Those are the bullet points. Now, they obviously duped ESPN into getting on to ESPN. And again, some of you are saying, well, you know what? Don't knock the hustle. No, that's not how this works. Don't knock the hustle means that this school started 2 years ago. They've gone out and they've gotten better and they've recruited better players to play at their high school. And these kids are graduating and they're slowly getting better. And eventually they hustled their way and they worked their way up to getting a shot with playing on ESPN. Not lying and being deceitful. That's not a hustle. Now, ESPN released a statement about the whole thing. And boy, got to be feeling pretty stupid over there at the Ocho, don't you? I mean, they got a lot of run from this. It's just not good run. Remember that whole there's no such thing as bad publicity? Oh, yeah, there is. So ESPN's statement on the Bishop Sycamore High School drama was, we regret that this happened and have discussed it with Paragon, which secured the matchup and handles the majority of our high school event scheduling. They have assured us that they will take steps to prevent this kind of situation from happening moving forward. In other words, Blue 42, Omaha, someone else take the blame. Omaha, Paragon, you're up. No way you're pinning this on us. Cool. I mean, fact of the matter is ESPN has to approve these matchups. Now, whether they rely solely on another entity to do this or not, I'm telling you right now. For example, Stevie the Weather Guy does the weather update for you guys on Mondays, right? Now, I could just take his video, not watch it, post it, cut it up, put it up. I could literally not watch his video. But I am ultimately responsible what goes out over this airwaves. That's why I had to preview that comment before I posted it from what was it, Mike? Yeah, from Mike Tackett. I had to make sure Mike wasn't saying some bullshit. So at the end of the day, ESPN and the powers that be over at ESPN are ultimately responsible for what hits their airwaves, period. So they can blame Paragon, and they should, and discipline Paragon, and they should. But at the end of the day, it's still their fault. It's still their responsibility, egg on their face. So you might be saying, well, come on now. They're supposed to vet the teams that get vetted by this. Yeah. If you want to avoid stuff like this, sure. I mean, you can fly blind. You can say whatever. But when stuff like this happens, don't come out with that wishy-washy statement, that BS statement. You see what come on. Come on. That Bishop Sycamore statement. And see, this is part of the problem. Grown-ass men playing high school kids is a shame. It really is. It really is. It sucks. No, the ministry. Yeah, it's the ministry. This whole cult thing, you guys kind of weird me out when you say that. Also, it makes it sound like what we do here with our community is creepy. And, I mean, you were fans of the Suspects. Was that a cult? No. It's not. If you're fans of another radio show, it's not a cult. That's all this is. This is just a radio show done on YouTube. Stop calling it a cult. You make it weird. What do I always tell you guys? Don't make it weird. That's like number one. We talked about this last week with Kristopher Hart. Don't make it weird. You guys got to make shit weird. Even when I'm promoting the show. Starts at 2:05. Oh, great. Yeah, that's the message we want to send to people that have never watched the show before. God. Anyways. You guys got to just learn how to be cool sometimes. I've already drank all my drink. Damn it. And no, I'm not doing shots. Katie said, hold on. What? By the way, welcome to the show, Katie. Been a minute since we've seen you here. Hold on. You mean to tell me that grown-ass men got embarrassed by kids on national TV? I wouldn't want to show my face anymore. I can only imagine if this was also basketball or baseball. Yeah, that's what they're saying is like 19 and 20-year-olds got embarrassed by legitimate high school kids. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But I mean, what did you expect? These guys couldn't cut it. They couldn't cut it where they were. This is why you do the things that you do like this, because you couldn't cut it against your peers. So you tried to punch down and play high school kids and ended up getting an ass whooping. So there you go. All right, we got a film session. What time is it? 2:30. We're good. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens for a second. We talked yesterday, and I brought it up on this show. I brought it up on Houston Sports Show in the morning radio edition on Sunday on ESPN Radio. I brought it up on Sports Riot Live on Twitch when we discussed it there. And now he's taking a little heat for it. J.K. Dobbins, if you didn't hear, out for the season, torn ACL, suffered in the last preseason game for the Baltimore Ravens. So John Harbaugh was asked about it and had to defend it. he told reporters on Monday that it's a fair conversation to have. Yeah, of course it is. We know that. To say anything else would be ridiculous. But he also compared his handling of the roster during the preseason to approaches embraced by other coaches. He said, but there are other teams that don't play their guys at all. They don't play their starters for one snap. We're probably as close to that as I know we're further down the road than we've ever been. We played our guys so little this offseason. It's just been how we've done it. But anytime a guy gets hurt, you ask yourself those questions. Yeah, I look, on the one hand, I do get it. Okay, you don't want to play your guys and get them hurt. I get it. I do understand that. And I know you also need to play your guys and get them some reps before the season starts. You don't want to go out having not played at all. I get it. And this is a game. This is a sport. Football is one of those games where you could get hurt in practice, which has happened this year. Guys can get hurt running drills. You just can't predict that. I understand that. And then scared money don't make money. You know, if you're not gonna go out there and play, I get it. But when you're seeing Lamar Jackson getting sacked, and you're seeing that your O-line's not doing a great job in this game, maybe just raise the white flag and be like, you know what? We got stuff to work on. Let's just call it. Let's just get those guys out before something happens. And you can't predict when it's going to happen. Maybe this was like, all right, just this drive and we're done. This ain't going well. Let's just finish this drive. Next play, torn ACL, done. And that's what sucks. And you can't predict that. My big concern really wasn't even the fact that J.K. Dobbins was in. I do in a way understand that. My thing was, how do you leave Lamar Jackson in after that happened? That's what, if I was a reporter in that room, I would have asked him. Once you saw J.K. Dobbins go down and have to be helped off the field because he couldn't walk on his knee, why did you leave Lamar Jackson and the rest of your starters in? I'd have pulled the whole first unit. I'd be like, all right, we're not doing this. We got a favorable, we're one of the favorites this year. Get out. Let's go. We'll just figure it out in quarter one. Not doing it. Not risking it. So, hey, what's up? Robert likes beer. TDP said Dobbins was his fantasy running back. Yeah, that's what sucks. Yeah, that's true. Mark said, have you not seen elite high school football players? Those dudes are men. They're big boys. They're big boys for sure. Marty said he just noticed my shirt, Barry. Thank you if you're late to the show. I'm representing the fighting Sycamores. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Oh, Bishop Sycamore. We're grown-ass men. I don't know. I should have put more thought into a fight song. What's up, Black Sheep? I should have put more thought into the fight song. So, Incarnate said, did y'all see Juju Smith-Schuster doing the milk crate challenge? Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. As a matter of fact, I actually have the video of him doing the milk crate challenge. And if ever there was some boneheadedness in this world, it's right here. Look at this. That is Juju Smith-Schuster on the milk crates doing the milk crate challenge. Yeah. Now, I understand that he's got some guys to either side of him to help catch his fall. Catch me, I'm falling. Boop, 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 boop. But how can you predict which way he's going to fall? Have you not been watching the videos? This is not safe. This doesn't make it better by having two guys on either side. This is still stupid. This is still reckless. And if I'm Mike Tomlin and I'm the rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm livid. I'm absolutely livid. Why would you... Why would you risk it all for something like this? This just doesn't make sense. This is stupid. You want to do this in the offseason? I still think it's asinine, but okay. This is a week before the season starts. Now, of course, it's always all's well that ends well, right? Okay, nothing happened. He didn't fall. No harm, no foul, no big deal. Everybody lives to fight another day. That's not how this shit works, man. Bro, could you imagine Patrick Mahomes doing that? Could you imagine Tom Brady doing it? Well, Tom Brady would probably fall. He's old. He'd break a hip. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. This is the dumbest thing ever. Like, what are you doing, bro? Your season starts in a week. What has KD said? He wants to see my Bishop Sycamore. Francisco said, Barry's got, oh, Bishop Sycamore. Them hoes don't see us coming. Sorry. I thought Katie said he wanted to see my diploma. Barry, I'm going to need to see your degree from BS High. Yeah. Come on, fam. I'll facsimile it over to you. Okay? I'll send it over to you. CC said Donna had her drafting Bishop Sycamore alumnus at Dan's the other night on our Barry on Deck draft. Yeah, for sure. Mike Tackett wants to know, how'd you already get a Bishop Sycamore shirt? Mike, come on, fam. What are you talking about, bro? I got this game on lock. Because I have a vinyl cutter and a heat press and I make my own shirts. And I made my own Bishop Sycamore shirt this morning, bro. That's how. That's how. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make me one. Oh, I should have put that on the back. I should have put, oh, Bishop Sycamore. The Fighting Liars. I don't know. What is there? What is there? They're not the trees, right? It's not like Bishop, the Bishop Sycamores. They're like Bishop Sycamore. The Fighting Liars? I don't know what they are. I don't know what the mascot is. What is the Bishop? We got to Google. What is the Bishop Sycamore mascot? I wonder if it's Pinocchio. Wouldn't that be hilarious? It's the Wee Boys, the Centurions. How can a nationally televised game be so bad? Well, on Monday it was discovered that Bishop Sycamore was a fake high school and tricked ESPN to televise this game. The Centurions, apparently their mascot, lied about the number of Division I recruits on their team. So they're the, I guess that would make sense. I thought it was like, I mean, based on the logo, I got this logo from the Googles. I was like, are they the Bishop Sycamore Boba Fett's? What? That kind of the Bishop Sycamore 300s? What? The Predators. So you have a random mascot on your shirt. No, it's not random. That was what came up in the Googles. That was on their, if you go to their Twitter account, this was the logo on their helmet too, Wallace. Then just put some random ass. I should have put Pinocchio though. That would have been hilarious. So am I going to get a Letterman's jacket from the high school? Maybe. You just see their debate team. You're talking about convincing. Yes. Episode 14, the Bubble Fad episode. What? I think someone's using speech to text there, and that didn't go good. All right. So we've covered Juju Smith-Schuster. We've covered the Bishop Sycamore. We've covered them. It's not Judge Dredd. It's Boba Fett. Which, yes, we've all established. I said Boba Fett. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a lightsaber. Okay? And I thought it was Boba Fett. Bubba, like he's a redneck Fett. Okay? Oh my gosh, you guys gotta get some. So I got the headlines. I got Bishop Sycamore. Oh, Bishop. We got J.K. Dobbins. I hate to do this to you, fam. I'm going to talk a little Deshaun Watson. Because the newest ringy-dingy rumors out there, the latest and greatest that's being purported, reported, distorted, is that Watson's not going anywhere. And this was being reported. Sorry, I was distracted by something over on the Twitters. Ian Rappaport said that the Texans are not expected to trade Deshaun Watson before today's 4 p.m. cut down deadline. Sources tell me and Tom Pelissero. I always hate that, by the way. Sources tell me and Tom Pelissero. Whenever I see that, that just lets me know that Tom Pelissero was first, but you also had different independent sources telling you that, but you weren't first. So barring a dramatic turn, Houston is now positioned to keep him going into the regular season at least. What does this mean? Well, this means he's not going to play, but he's still going to collect on his $10.5 million salary, but that he'll just be inactive every week. And I think that this is interesting to discuss because, what's up, Ben? The Texans are willing to eat $10 million. They're willing to eat the $10.5 million in salary, which, by the way, if you traded him, let's see, what is his, I mean, you're still going to have to pay a big portion of, oh shit, I think I just almost unplugged everything. Oh shit. What the hell have I done? What in the wide world of sports is going on around here? I almost unplugged all my shit. Just took the whole show off the air with my... I gotta do better cable management behind this chair. So they're going to eat the $10.5 million. Now, if they trade him, they're going to have to pay a portion of that salary anyways. That's going to be on their cap. So maybe they're looking at it as, well, you know what? What's up, Shelby? Hi, bye. Thanks for stopping by. So, yeah, sorry, Heartthrob. You're right. I'm a minister. At least I'm not a bishop. So they're going to have to pay some anyway. So maybe they look at, well, what's the big deal? What's the difference? If it means we got to sell low, we'll just eat the money. I'd rather get more draft picks or whatever out of it. And I think that's what you're seeing being talked about. This article on Larry Brown Sports about the whole thing was, Aaron Wilson said the Texans are prepared to have Deshaun Watson on the 53-man roster and inactive every single week, according to multiple league sources. Watson, who has issued a standing trade request with no deal imminent, would be paid $10.54 million in salary. They're still wanting the 3 first-round picks. No teams are willing to do that at this time because they don't know what's going to happen to him. And we talked about this yesterday. And I think, look, if you're just dead set on getting the absolute maximum value and you're not worried about the money because you know you're not going to do much this year, okay. And the point that was made in this article I thought was also a really good, or at least a valid point. At this point, if you trade Deshaun Watson to the Miami Dolphins, what if they win the AFC? Okay. What if they, this AFC. I don't know why I was thinking NFC for a second like a moron. I mean, what if they make the playoffs? They make a deep run. They lower their draft position. Now you've traded Deshaun Watson for a first round pick, but it's the 25th pick in the draft. When you're trying to get a 1 or a 2 or a top 5 or a top 10. So trading him to a team that may actually do well probably hurts those 3 first round picks you get as well. And they're probably going to be competitive with him going forward. Ideally, you trade him to the Eagles, who are a mess, or the Panthers, who are still a mess. Get higher picks for longer term. So it's kind of a catch-22 right now. I mean, sure, you'd still like to have those first round picks, whether they're top 10 or bottom 10. Still a first round pick. But you're not getting your franchise quarterback in there. But also don't forget, they're going to be a terrible football team. They're going to have a top 5 pick regardless. Excuse me. But I think that they're being cautious with what they get for him. And as much as I rag on this team and as much as I talk crap about the Texans, I do like the fact that at least they're now saying, well, we're not going to sell low. That's a smart play. I mean, it was idiotic of them, and I said this yesterday, it was idiotic of them to refuse to trade him before the sex scandals broke. because they've done this to themselves now, basically. Had they just went ahead and sold high when he said he wanted out and not fought it and be like, we're not trading him. We can make this work. Please, I can make you love me. No, you can't. No, you can't. So now he's gone. And he's not gone until these cases get resolved. So you may be eating $10.5 million plus maybe next year. How long are you willing to wait to waste a roster spot on this dude? We're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. The league could do the Texans a favor and put him on the exempt list. But they're prepared to eat the money. So, they didn't have to trade him before the allegations. Now they really don't have to trade him at a lesser value. Well, but again, Walt, that whole they didn't have to trade him before the allegations, they should have, though. Once a player in the NFL, the NBA, or MLB is disgruntled and no longer wants to be on that team, regardless of what you think leverage is held by the other teams, if they want out, they'll force their way out. I mean, James Harden kind of did it. Look how he was playing on the court. They were like, look, this is just not working. He's just out here playing awful and it's showing, and he's overeating and just all that. I mean, like, he absolutely could do those things. Oh, you want me to play? Okay. I'm going to go out there and just throw pick sixes. I'm going to go Matt Schaub it out there. So I don't think that, I think it's foolish to sit there and be like, no, we're going to make you love us, Deshaun. We're going to be fine, I promise. I know we've done everything to make you hate us, but we're going to fix it. Except fire Easterby or include you in the Nick Caserio hire or include you in the firing of Bill O'Brien or the head coaching search for David Culley or any other things that most teams that have a franchise quarterback include their quarterback in. I know. And I know our organization has been accused of racism in the past too, and that's weighed heavily on a lot of players' minds. And I know we ran J.J. Watt off, and I know we traded the one weapon that you valued more than anything in the world in DeAndre Hopkins and got a can of beans for him. I know we've done all that, but we're going to make you love us. That was never going to happen. The best things the Texans could have done, is at the moment he said, I want out, traded him. That was it. You want out? Okay. Let's go get max value for you. They've screwed it up. They've absolutely screwed it up. Mike said Mike Thomas is on the Saints pup list, will be unavailable for 5 games. The most passive-aggressive fuck you I've seen in a long time. Also, no team with a half a brain will take a chance on Watson. I think teams will take a chance on him once they know where this is headed. If they know it's 6 games, 8 games, or whatever the suspension will be, they're willing to do that. But taking a chance on what that's going to be or what the outcome of this is, I think you're right in that regard. Even if the Dolphins are dead set on getting him, I think you got to wait until at least in the court, okay, this is just heading to fines and the NFL is willing to give him 6 games. So, Black Sheep said, honest question, what do you see the chances of either the Texans or Cowboys getting Cam Newton? I don't know that either team really needs him. I mean, is Cam better than Tyrod Taylor? Yeah, but it's just like saying, it's the lesser of two evils. And I'm not so sure that Cam is much better than Tyrod, but they're about the same kind of caliber, same kind of player. And I don't think the Cowboys need to go get Cam Newton right now. If Dak is healthy and you believe that, roll with it. Now, if you're looking for solid insurance on Dak's health, then maybe you make the move and bring in Cam. Can you afford him? Is he willing to go there? I mean, all those things are going to matter. This isn't a trade deal. And I'd be willing to bet you that New England looked at trading him. And people were probably like, we don't want to give you anything. We can just get him on the waiver. I mean, you just be stuck with him. Have an expensive insurance policy on versus your rookie Mac Jones. And they maybe also thought if we can cut him and not, pay a bunch, or we can trade him and have to pay something. I don't know. All that factors into it. Amos said more people are coming to see Cam than Tyrod. That's like, pick the cousin you want to kiss. Who cares? If anybody decides to go buy tickets to watch this team because Cam Newton is here, they're dumb. This team is still going to suck with or without Cam Newton. I promise you that. Promise you that. Justin said Cam has played at an MVP level. Tyrod Taylor and Mills would and will never be at that level. Yeah, but he's not playing at that level anymore. If he was, he wouldn't have got cut. If he was, his play on the field would have made it impossible to cut him because he was so much better than Mac Jones. You understand that what's happening under here? You understand he just lost his job to a rookie who has never played a snap in the NFL. That's not MVP caliber anymore. You can't rely on what he did in 2017, 2018. When did Cam win his MVP? Cam Newton MVP. 2015. Bro, that was 6 years ago. Are you still hanging your hat on that? Hoping that he's going to show up and play like he did 6 years ago? Here's an article on CBS that says Cowboys haven't ruled out former NFL MVP, but also aren't prioritizing him. I think if you're a team like the Colts and you know you've got injury issues, if you're a team like the Cowboys and you know you've got injury issues, there are some teams that I think look at it and go, you know what, as an insurance policy, sure. What are the Texans insuring? That they don't get the number one pick if they go get Cam? He might win us a game or two. You don't want to win games right now, folks. I'm sorry. If you're the Houston Texans, you do not want to be going and getting better right now. I mean, that's just, you guys are going to have to accept that, Texans fans. I've accepted it as a Texans fan. I don't want to see this team get better. I want to see this team suck all the D. All of it. Every last bit of it. I hope this team becomes the Bishop Sycamore of the NFL. Just out there getting just trounced 58-0. Every single game. 0-16. 0-16. I'm going to make shirts to say, I hope my team goes 0-16. And then put the Texans logo and get sued. Like, seriously, you should not be rooting for this team to be 5-12 this year. I was saying 16, 17. I get it. This team needs to suck. That's how rebuilds happen. This team needs to suck. They need to be picking the top 3 in every round of the draft. Period. Katie said they suck so much they have built-in knee pads. Well, they just hadn't sucked the right way yet, though. That's the problem. They've been mediocre. You remember the years that the Rockets were like the 8th seed in the West every single year? Do you remember that? They would be like the 7 or 8 seed and get bounced in the first round, and then they wouldn't be in the lottery or get a good draft pick. And they never really got better. They always just somehow managed to be the 8th seed or the 7th seed. That's what the Texans are. They always manage to be at the bottom end of the draft because they barely make the playoffs, but they're not doing anything with any of this. They're not getting better as an organization. They're not moving the needle closer to a championship level. They're just stagnantly average. So I'm prepared to go full on suck with it. Let's just go full on Astros rebuild. If they lost 100 games, I'd be good with that. I know that is mathematically impossible, but let's go Sucktown. Let's all go to Sucktown. They just need to suck and rebuild. That's it. The Astros did it. They did it the right way. Now, do I think that the Texans have the right personnel in place to pull that off? No. I don't think Caserio and Easterby and Cal McNair are those guys. So we may go to Sucktown and then find out, well, we're stuck. We're not getting out of Sucktown because these guys suck. They're the mayors of Suckville. But what other choice do you have at this point? Your franchise quarterback doesn't want to be here. You're going to lose him one way or the other. One way or the other. You got nothing. So you might as well gamble on a rebuild. And now this entire city's football future lies in the hands of Cal McNair, Jack Easterby, David Culley, and Nick Caserio. Good luck, Houston. Good luck. All right, so there's your Deshaun Watson update. I do have a film session for you. I gotta pee though. I gotta go whiz. So we're gonna take a quick little break, and then when we come back, we're gonna do a film session. If you're new to the program, first of all, welcome. Please make sure you do me a solid and subscribe to the show. It's free. Don't have to pay anything. Just hit subscribe. And make sure you give the video a thumbs up. That helps me with the algorithm. And then come back because I'm going to do something that a lot of folks like. It's kind of a fan favorite. It's called Film Session. It's where I break down different internet videos or viral videos. Most of them just end up being fights. I got a really good one. This dude freaks out in the Miami-Dade airport, and we're going to do a film session on it right after this break. What I need you to do, though, is stick around through that break. I've got the count right on my screen. I see 60 people. You 60 people better go nowhere. Just let me go pee. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Lamnack. Stick around through the break. I'm your host, Barry Lamnack. Thank you guys for sticking around through the break. Those of you that did. 10 people left. Unbelievable. Now we're at 49. 11 people left. Really? Really, people? You just couldn't let me go pee for 2 minutes. Everybody bailed. You wishy-washy sons of bitches. I do agree with KD. We need 59. We need 69 likes. We need 5 likes to get to 69. I like. Very nice. Okay, I promised you regularly bitches a film session. Let's do a film session. What's up, Jess? Thank you. Thank you. Glad you're here. Always good to see your smiling, beautiful face. That would also go double for Walt. Look at that beautiful face. Look at that beautiful. Look at Walt's beautiful face. All right. I just made it weird. All right, film session time. I got to get the picture in picture. I got to get the pip, as we say in the biz. All right. This is not really the biz, Barry. It's just a YouTube show. Settle down. So this, actually, you know what? Let's make it official. Let's make it a. Why do I not know where my stuff is? I have no idea where my buttons are. Let's make it official here.
Now it's time for a film session.
So, we have in our midst a freak out, if you will, at the Miami-Dade airport. And boy, is it a good one. So let's do a film session and break this 1 minute freak out down. Check it out. I don't even know what he's saying. Oh, watch out, boy. Oh, we got a tough guy with a sticker still on his hat. What's up?
He's actually calling people. Yeah.
Uh-oh. He called him the N-word. That ain't cool.
Where's the police?
Where's the police? Oh, watch out!
Oh my
Ah!
God.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he said, fuck y'all. Sick of this shit. Pull back! Yo, what? Oh, I'd be pissed if that yellow thing flew at me. I think I'd have to fight this dude. What does this mean? Do you see this? Oh, that guy's scared. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Okay. Let's break this down like we always do. All right, now. What we have here. He said this is white magic going nuts in Hawaii. That is outstanding. Brian says he looks like House. Do y'all know who I am? I'm Reverend Lord Chris Householder III. All right. Let's break this down. So my guy is obviously upset about something. I'm not sure what. Now, the first things first here. Yeah, he's losing his shit. And I think we've all been there at the airport. Who among us hasn't flown Spirit? This guy's obviously flying Spirit and not having it. Now, I don't know if he was not allowed on because he's not wearing a mask or isn't vaccinated. I don't know what the deal is. But I assumed it was vaccinated because when he later in the video, he lifts up his sleeve and he's like, right here, look at this. I just assumed that he was showing people where he got vaccinated. I don't know. Maybe he's got a tattoo that says, I'm the freak out machine. I have no idea. But my guy here in the jacket with the mask on and the tie deserves an award for being the calmest, coolest, most collected dude at the airport, hands down. Because I'd have socked this dude in the face the second time he got in my grill. That'd have been it. I'd be like, all right, buddy, let's just go. Let's just figure this out. I'm about to whoop that ass. Let's do this. So he gets it. He's already gotten into his face once, by the way. We see it here. Now, see that little flinch right there? You get like one of those. You get one of those. And if you get a second one of those, that tells me you're too scared to do anything. If all you do is flinch at people, listen. If all you do is flinch like that, that lets the person that you're doing that to know that you're too scared to punch them. As you'll see in our film session for Thursday or Friday, there's a difference here. Okay. Now this guy is obviously, he's scared to, he'll beat up a sign and a lane pole, but he doesn't want to punch a human being. You can tell that because he doesn't. So, that's two. That's two flinches. Now, my guy in the gray is being real cool. He's like, okay. Now, I want to point out something about the guy behind him. Look at the dude in the suit behind my dude in the gray jacket. He's definitely using my guy in the gray jacket as a human shield. He's like, oh my God. Security, get over here. He's like, fuck that. And then I think he says the N-word, which isn't good. Oh, yeah. He just called him a pussy ass N-word, and that's not okay. Somebody should have probably checked him on that. Now, this must be his woman. Is this his woman over here also in the matching gray sweatpants? I mean, like, she seems like she's trying to get him under control, but that's not really working. Now here we go with lunge number 3. Okay, first of all, what did those inanimate objects do to you, buddy? Why are you knocking down poles? Now he gets in his face again. Where's the police? There's like flinch number 4. I'm throwing this at nobody. Yeah, look at me, I'm a badass. See, like, he threw that at nobody. This dude definitely is a pussy. If ever there was the very clear definition of a vagina, it's this man. A walking vagina. Because he's done everything except punch these 2 dudes that he's mad at.
Wow. Oh my
Now,
God.
right there, everybody was like, oh my God, what's he doing? He's like, yeah, you want some of that? Look at me. I'm a badass. Yeah? Fuck you guys and fuck this stupid yellow sign. Like, what? Now, let me tell you right where this dude would have got his ass whooped. Let me tell you why this dude would have got his ass whooped. If I would have been that man walking down the middle of this aisle, there would have been a body found at gate D23. Because as soon as he does this, I hate these stupid yellow signs. That thing is now midair, and it almost hits my guy in the vest. Now, he's lucky that my guy in the vest probably is a flight attendant on one of these flights. Because he's like, okay, we just got an airport freak out. That's normal now. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to mosey on about my business. But if that yellow sign would have whizzed past my head, oh, baby boo, best believe me and him would have been talking. I'd be like, hey, bro, what the fuck is your problem? Why'd you just kick that sign at me? I didn't kick it at you. Well, it flew past my head, and now we're going to have to tussle. And then I probably would have got my ass whooped in the middle of it. Where's the damn police? I don't understand that. Do you see this? Look, by the way, can we go back to my guy that the sign flew past? He's just walking. He's like, yeah, it's whatever. The yellow sign flies past me, a little diversion there. Boop, right back into our flight path. Headed to my gate. Don't even care. This guy's a weirdo. Whoa. Hey, back up. Now, can we talk about my guy in the suit for a second? If ever, why did he get down right here? Now, see, so the lunatic, the badass, the inanimate object bully shows up, comes up under the, like his Stone Cold Steve Austin, runs under there when he didn't need to. He could have just went around again. But he's like, they're like, oh my God, that's Crazy Willie's theme music. And here he comes. Now, my guy in the suit kind of dips out here. Watch him. He's on the far left of your screen. He ducks and then dips. He's like, oh my God, don't hurt me. And he moved out of the way. My guy in the gray suit. So he finally kind of throws a punch right there. You notice that? He pushes him back. He's like, hey, you're not going to beat up the scaredy cat in the suit. I won't allow it. Get back. Right? Now, right here, he throws that punch, but he misses. My guy is doing a good job in this defense. He's got his hands out the whole time. So when he goes to throw a punch, it just kind of careens off his shoulder and his elbow. It's almost like a Philly shell defense. You keep that shoulder up. When somebody punches you, they're probably going to hit your shoulder. What's up, Chicken Joe Clark? Good to see you, buddy. So the punch misses, and then my guy gets a nice little shove in to where Crazy Willie goes over the inanimate objects here. Oh, and then he just gets taken down. So see, Walt, you said inanimate objects don't fight back. Oh, contraire, mon frere. One of them just had a really nice takedown. Now, I don't know who the guy in the blue is. I don't know where he came from. I don't see him before, but I think that's just probably a citizen like I probably would have done, where you watch this enough and you're like, all right, this guy's a big old Virginia. This guy's a scaredy cat. He ain't fighting nobody. So my guy finally decides he's going to step in and put a stop to this bullshit right here. Here is our hero. And he's the one that's going to decide, you know what? I'm sick of this dude shit. This guy's a pussy. He ain't hurting nobody. Watch him. Watch my guy in the blue jacket. He's like, I've had enough of this shit. All right, right here. I'm calling the cops. Hey. Sit down. Step the fuck back. And then that's where it ends. But it looks like 4 of them now. It's 4-on-1. That's where they kind of got bum rushed. So it probably didn't end well for him. The takeaway on this, folks. The takeaway is don't be a puss. Oh shit! You know what I didn't do? I didn't set up my call manager. Okay. I gotta set up my call manager for Kristopher to join the show, Barry. The takeaway from all this, by the way, don't flinch at people. Don't just run around like, hey, what? Hey. You're not scaring people that way. We see you. Clarence said, here comes Jerome Solomon at the end. That's hilarious. I better text Kristopher Hart and make sure he's still joining. Kristopher, I can't believe I forgot to do that today. You going to make it? Whenever is fine. Take your time. Okay. I didn't have it up earlier. That's on me. I got to be a better host. Yeah, he's not here yet. I got to be a better host. But when he joins, we'll get after it. So there's your film session for the day. The one from the casino is going to be really good. We'll break that down on Thursday. We'll get to that. We'll get to that as well. Guy in the blue is the air marshal. You think so? Maybe it was, but I feel like if that were the case, CC, he should have stepped in sooner. I really do. I feel like if that guy was an air marshal, he probably should have stepped in and done something a little sooner than that. That is the problem. Ma'am, you got a 4-ounce perfume. I know there's a psychopath over there, but God bless it, you got a 4-ounce perfume. Get out of here, crazy lady. What? All right. I'm going to close the film sesh here. I'm saving one of these topics, or actually 2 of these topics, for my guy, Kristopher Hart, if he's able to join. Okay, he said logging in now, how to email the venue. All good. All good, Mr. Hart. Take your time, sir. I didn't even have it up. He didn't even know. Didn't even know I didn't have it ready. Let's talk about this for a second, because Jake Paul said he's now retiring. He's no longer going to be a, quote, boxer. Well, first of all, I got news for you. You were never a boxer. You were a showman. But you were not a legitimate professional fighter, which is what he said. So it says Paul beat up UFC Hall of Famer Tyron Woodley via split decision. Paul fought a good fight. No, he didn't. This is all on TMZ, by the way. Paul said Woodley put up a better fight than he expected, but called the split decision bullshit. So he said, let's see, where is it? Sunday night was the last time Paul will ever fight or ever step back in the ring. At least that's what he's saying on Twitter, claiming he's now a retired boxer. Take this with a grain of salt. Paul's been known to take a page out of Conor McGregor's book. Then again, there are reports the fight had insane pay-per-view numbers, which means Paul will get a fat paycheck. But still, the guy's only 24 and one of the top paid fighters in the sport. Okay. It just disgusts me to read top paid fighter. He's the top showman in the sport. He's not a fighter. I wish we could differentiate between the two. These are exhibition fights, not professional fights. Yes, they're getting paid. These do not count on anyone's record. He's keeping a tally of 4-0, but no sanctioning body for the sport is keeping track of it. But now he says he's retired. And I'll be honest with you. If Jake Paul is telling me he's retired from boxing, to that I say, thank God. It's about time. Please never come back. You're not good for the sport. You're making a bunch of individual people money, but you're fooling the average and casual boxing fan into thinking this is what boxing is. And your awful display of technique isn't helping. So stay gone. Go back to YouTube. Go back to Vine. Have me on your show. Help me get my numbers up. But just don't box anymore. No one in the actual sport of boxing appreciates what you're doing. Nobody. It's a farce. And I hope he stays gone. I really do. I hope that he decides to never come back. And his brother. You can take him too. Take him too. Yeah, Marcus, I thought he said he was going to save the fight world. Just go away already. Okay. Get out of here. I don't want to talk about that dude anymore. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but do you remember when Dennis Rodman freaked out and left and went to Vegas? You remember that? You remember? Remember? You remember? You remember? Remember? Well, his infamous Las Vegas trip is now going to be, and they talked about it in The Last Dance. I think it was episode 3. So the whole, I guess, night, the 48 hours, the 2 days that he spent in Vegas. This is being picked up by Lionsgate. It's going to be made into a movie. Yeah, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be called 48 Hours in Vegas, and Rodman himself will be serving as the executive producer. It'll document the bender that he had during the 1998 NBA Finals. So some of the quotes from the article in the New York Post, it says, when Scotty was out, Dennis was a model citizen to the point where it was driving him crazy. Bulls legend Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance. So when he came back, Dennis wanted to take a vacation. Rodman asked Phil Jackson and Jordan that January for a midseason break, and Jackson agreed to give him 48 hours. We look at Dennis and say, Dennis, what are you going to do? He says, I need to go to Vegas. And he did. And I think that was, he said, that was the whole Carmen Electra thing. Says, of course, it lasted longer than 48 hours. 4 days passed, and Rodman spent time partying with then girlfriend Carmen Electra. He said, Electra said, the party was started right away. It was definitely an occupational hazard being Dennis Rodman's girlfriend. He was wild. So I think the question is, would you watch it? I don't know that it's going to go down as a classic sports movie. It does have a very hangover feel to it. The question becomes, are they going to try to make this a comedy, or is this going to try to be serious? Is this going to try to be factual? Some of it's going to be obviously Hollywooded up to make it more interesting than it was, although Dennis Rodman's a pretty interesting dude. It was probably pretty interesting just the way he did it. I think I would watch it. I think I would watch it just for the wow factor, kind of the what the hell is going on factor. I don't think it's going to be good. I think once I watched it, I probably wouldn't like it. And that's not me prejudging it. I'm just saying they're going to have to do it a certain kind of way in order for me to appreciate the film. But if it's just kind of a half-ass serious Dennis Rodman doing Dennis Rodman stuff in Vegas for 4 days or 48 hours or whatever, I mean, I've seen The Hangover. I don't need to see that again. So, depending on how they do it, if there's cameos with Jordan and Pippen and Rodman and Carmen Electra, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, Chris Reyes has a good point. Is it going to be NC-17? If Rodman is the executive producer, best believe there's going to be a ton of titties, a ton of nudity, probably some penis, probably. It is Dennis Rodman after all. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be a ton of nudity, drug use. Definitely not a movie you're taking the kids to go see. That's for sure. But I would watch it. I would wait until it came out on like HBO or something. I'm not going to go to I'm not making my once a decade trip to the movies with Nora to go watch Dennis Rodman's 48 Hours in Vegas. That's for sure. But I would watch it. I would definitely watch it. Where'd this go? So I was trying to see what this said. Oh, the Lionsgate motion picture company said there's only one Dennis Rodman in 98. There was nobody on earth who'd be more fun or maybe more dangerous to party with. And yet that's not even half of who he is. The movie takes you on an unforgettable ride with the myth, the legend, and also the man that is Dennis, that Dennis is behind everything you think you know. Okay. Could you maybe just talk to us without trying to sell us? Just tell us about it. Oh. BOD field trip to the Regal Cinemas. That would be good. Yeah. Could go watch it as a crew. I'd be down for that. Absolutely. Abso-diddly-lutely. All right. I want to bring up this topic. I've been saving it. Normally I would have talked about this early in the show. Normally I would have brought it up right away. But I'm saving it for Mr. Hart. I want to have this discussion with him about a certain thing that happened to me last night, but I'm waiting on him. So in the meantime, Jeopardy fans, I don't know if you saw this, and I don't know if this has been updated or not, but you remember the guy that they chose to be the original guy, the producer? We talked about it on the show. Well, they decided to move on from him. With all the allegations that were surfacing, all the bad shit he had done, they decided that they weren't going to go with that Yahoo. And reopened, I guess, the search. So LeVar Burton is a guy that a lot of people are hoping ends up as the new host. I wouldn't mind that. Ken Jennings was a guy that had some issues in his past as well, but I think the play here is, the safe play here is get the man on your screen, make him a host. You're good to go. You need not worry after that if this is the new host of Jeopardy. The crazy thing is, when they were going through this, there was a list that Alex Trebek left where he talked about who he would like to see take over and replace him as the host. They didn't interview a single or try out a single one of the people on his list, which is pretty sad. As for me, one guy I would suggest that they use that I think would be a fantastic host of Jeopardy.
What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? None other than Kristopher Hart himself joining me on the program right now. Our weekly soiree into everything fancy. Two fancy guys. I need to put that on the screen with us. But Kristopher Hart joining me of the Whiskey Neat Show, Whiskey Neat podcast. Welcome, my friend. Good to have you back.
Dude, thanks for having me back, man. Yeah. I'm excited. I was trying to get the Ethernet in and the speakers up and going, and I saw you talking about Jake Paul and whatever joke he had. I cannot believe that anyone, like, like in the story of Little Red Riding Hood, where she's talking to her grandmother, and we as the reader can see that she's a wolf.
Yeah.
But she's like, grandmother, like we're watching her walk into a complete shit show of a situation with a wolf posing as her mother or grandmother. I don't understand how anyone can take these fights. It's a reality show. It's basically very, very expensive WWE. Like, we already have that. It's already a thing. And I don't understand how anyone is like, I'm going to pay $85 or however much PayPal is, or not PayPal, but pay-per-view. I don't look at receipts. But I'm just kidding. That's my Jake Paul impression. I don't see why anybody gives a shit. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I think it's he has a huge following who will pay for anything that he does, and that's how followings are. I mean, I get that. That's not the part. I think it's the fringe fans that are maybe like, oh, there's a boxing match on this weekend. Well, I like boxing. Let's order this. And then they watch it. And they're like, man, boxing really sucks. You know, like that's what worries me. Like, go do your little fake fight thing. That's cool. But don't try to sell it as legitimate boxing, which is what he's doing. He's trying to say it's legitimate boxing. Do it however you want to do it, but stop telling us that you're beating up guys that are worthy opponents, because they're not. Stop telling us you're a professional boxer, because you're not. None of these fights are sanctioned. None of these fights are against legitimate boxers. You're a showman. I accept that, but don't try to feed people otherwise.
I mean, the idea a professional boxer just means getting paid for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he fits the definition.
No.
But is he not? He's not a serious boxer. It's all a show. I mean, the whole idea of professional wrestling is that you get paid for it. It's clearly fake. Like, but I still have so much more. I never understood why professional wrestling has always presented itself as fake, but more of a theater performance. And people still give professional wrestlers a hard time, whereas this is completely trying to be real. It's completely not trying to be real. It's completely telling you it's real. It's pulling one over your eyes. It's trying to pretend like this is anything but a farce, and it pisses me off more than anything.
Well, and it should. And the one thing I think that I give wrestlers and wrestling fans a hard time sometimes, I talk about it not being a sport, and they're like, oh, that is absolutely athletic. And I do agree with that. What they do is crazy, and it's almost like stuntmen more than it is a sport, right? It's like, it's crazy though. They do amazingly crazy shit. It's not a sport. It's not athletics. It's physical. It's certainly physical, and it certainly takes a toll on your body. I wouldn't deny that, right? But it's a different kind of.
It's a performance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a physical performance.
It's so different than stand-up comedy. Like when people get mad at stand-up comedians, and I love there's a great Mark Norman joke where he's like where they get mad at him for telling a joke, and he's like, yeah, but that wasn't real. Like, this isn't real. It's a performance. Like, that Hitler joke I just made on stage, I'm clearly not a Nazi sympathizer. It was the right thing to say in the moment. Yeah. Like, anyone who gets mad at comedians for the jokes on stage, it's like, you're taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's jokes. But I think when, the one thing I don't understand about wrestling is they keep a record. They're like, he's 13-0. I'm like, that's like keeping track of how many fake orgasms you've given your wife. None of those count. What are we doing?
Wait, what's a fake orgasm? I don't understand.
Hey, I got something to talk. What'd you say?
Oh, go ahead.
No. Please continue.
I was just gonna say, I love how we come on and present ourselves as fancy people, and then we're like, dick jokes, orgasms. Yeah.
Supposed to be two fancy guys. By the way, if you guys have questions about whiskey, about bourbon and stuff like that, feel free to ask. We don't have to. This is audience participation. That's what this show is all about. We have a question for you already. I put it in the queue.
All right.
But Aaron J. Bryant had a question for you. Hashtag Ask Kristopher. Is Uncle Nearest 1884 a good buy?
First of all, I love the idea of hashtag Ask Kristopher. Great idea. Whoever's idea that was. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to take credit for it. It was my idea. I think it is a great idea.
Good job. Yeah. Way to go. Leave it to a white guy to steal the idea of a black man. Jesus.
You know what's funny? So first of all, to answer your question directly, Uncle Nearest is a pretty solid buy. I don't drink all of their stuff, but usually a spirits producer is going to produce a spectrum of really high-end quality and thus more costly product. And then more affordable, maybe not as good. If they can just avoid it being bad, that's all you can hope for in a lower-priced product. But the interesting thing about Uncle Nearest is the story there is all tied to the very first distiller in the U.S. ever. The first ever head distiller in the United States was a slave, right? So Nearest Green. The story of Uncle Nearest is really interesting. He taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey, and Jack Daniels treated him as an equal, brought his children up into the
and I had never heard this story until you told me about it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I think we talked about it on the show a couple times, but what's interesting is they don't actually source because they're not distilling yet. They don't source their liquid from Jack Daniels. They actually source their liquid from another Tennessee distiller, Dickel. But then they do something. They blend it. There's some stuff that they do that's not actually, I think it might be flavored. It's kind of hard to tell because the categories on the label are a bit murky at times. But Uncle Nearest is very well respected. Everything that she is doing, Fawn Weaver, their owner of the company, is incredible. I couldn't be a bigger supporter and fan of who they are. And yes, you can absolutely trust that if you can get in the $60 to $100 range of some of their products, it's really, really good.
Cool. We have another question for you from Sean. And he said, why can't I find early times anymore? I knew this would happen.
Well, there's a short answer and a long answer. Early Times is failed. It's an old label that's been around a long time, but they have a hard time being relevant. They haven't sold very well until Brown-Forman relaunched the brand a few years ago into a 1-liter bottle, meant for the bar, but it picked up interest with the enthusiasts like ourselves. And it was a $20 bottle for 100 proof whiskey, bottled in bond. $20 for 1 liter is insanely fantastic. And it did so well that they sold the brand to Buffalo Trace, and they're in the process now of selling and moving the brand from one company to a different company. I don't think there's anything currently out there other than what you might find as the scrappings of the previous owner. But it's coming back. Just trust that.
Okay. Mark G has a question for you. He said, ask Christopher, how is Old Granddad 114 so cheap for how tasty it is?
Great question. So a lot of these producers have been producing on such a massive scale that their overall costs are very relatively inexpensive. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Say whatever you want on this show.
Say whatever I want.
I mean, not the N-word.
Yeah. Why do you always put that on me like I'm on the verge of saying it?
Where were you born?
Dude.
Where were you born? Answer the question. Huh?
Pasadena.
Oh,
Pasadena.
Okay.
Yeah. Not in a very. Let's just say the white people from Pasadena were not. Let's just say they don't not say the N-word a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. You always like every time I'm like, should I say this? You're like, don't say the N-word. I'm not going to say the N-word.
No, I didn't say it because I just said you can say anything you want in this show except the N-word. You can't say that, but anything else you absolutely can. Well, there's a few other words. You can't say the S word, the J
What's
word,
the S word?
the C word, the other C word.
I've said the other C word on here a few times.
Yeah. I mean, there's about 12, 14 words you can't say, but other than that, just go ahead. It's fine.
Challenge accepted. Here we go. All right. Just go down what was George Carlin's just.
Yeah. The seven words you can't say on TV. Yeah.
So there's a distillery. This is how I get around it. I won't say the name of the distillery, but to fill a 53-gallon barrel here in Texas, I would say a fair estimate is the cost is about $600 total. From bringing in the grain, distilling it, buying a brand new charred oak barrel, about $600. Those distilleries in Kentucky have been doing it so long and on such a scale. Some, like Barton 1792, they basically use 20 acres of corn every single day. 20 acres of corn every single day. And their cost, I would be willing to bet, are less than $300 a barrel, like half the cost of Texas.
Damn.
So to answer your question, Old Granddad 114 to be so cheap for what it is, yeah, I think it has to do with the fact that they've been brewing or distilling. Buffalo Trace has been distilling before we were a country. Before 1776, they had distillery operations.
Damn.
So scale.
Okay. Next question is for the both of us. Ask Christopher / Barry, is the Whiskey Comedy Showcase, the Vintage Whiskey Comedy Showcase, is it a fancy or casual event?
It's going to be in a very fancy place, and you're going to be
casual,
drinking very, very fancy whiskey. But we have the same rules. I don't want you coming in some shorts and
no, don't show up in
flip-flops.
shorts and flip flops. We're not going to let you in.
Yeah, but I would, and you know what? Now that you say that, I'll make sure that we send a note to all the people who've purchased tickets to let them know. But a button-down shirt, like what I'm wearing, some jeans, you're good.
I mean, even a polo would be fine. It's a comedy show.
Sure.
Is that not? You're not agreeing with me on that?
No, I'm agreeing.
Yeah, a polo is fine. A button-down shirt is fine. You don't need to wear a sport coat. You don't need to, she doesn't need to wear heels or anything like that. Just. Yeah, I mean, it just dress like you would going to the Houston Improv. How would you dress if you went to the Houston Improv? If you'd wear a t-shirt to the Improv, cool. Well, don't go looking, in shorts and flip flops. But if you wore a t-shirt and a nice pair of jeans, no one's gonna give a shit. Just don't stand out and look raggedy. That's all. But no, you don't have to fancy it up. You don't have to wear a coat or none of that stuff.
Agreed.
All right, next question for you. This is a little personal, but that's what D-Mata does. He always asks super personal, weird questions. D-Mata is notorious for making it weird, and I fuss these folks all the time. I'm like, y'all don't make
Yes,
shit weird.
I'm circumcised. Next question.
Holy shit. I didn't even know that. D-Mata wants to know, hashtag ask Kristopher. He spelled it wrong. Have you gave any more thought to calling your sister in New Zealand?
Oh, no, I have not. I just, I'd say like probably once every couple of months, I'll Facebook stalk them to see what they're up to.
Right.
But it'll be like, a couple drinks in, couple beers in. I'll just look at their profile. I don't even think about messaging them because I just know that it's not. I want to do it the right way.
Okay.
And it's not the right time. Timing is everything.
Totally agree. Amos Johnson has a question for you. Hashtag ask Chris thoughts on Old Foster.
Old Forester.
Oh, so, well, he put Foster, but
yeah. Old Forester is a fantastic brand. They actually were the previous owners of Early Times, Brown Forman. Great. I love them. If you're a big fan of Woodford Reserve, half of what's in a Woodford Reserve bottle comes from Old Forester. They blend it together.
Really?
Good stuff. And you can get like a really cheap $20 whiskey from them.
Okay. All right. We have more hashtag ask Kristopher spelling your name wrong. It's on the damn screen, people. Kristopher. How are you not seeing that? Put some respect on this man's name. You know what? From now on, if you don't spell the name right, I'm not putting a question on there. Okay?
But to be fair, they are deckheads, not heart farts. I mean, what would you call my fans? I don't even know.
Heart farts.
I don't know. I heard it a lot growing up,
Yeah, of course. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. You guys have a dedicated heart fart. We're going to make you a shirt. I'm going to wear a heart fart shirt next Tuesday just for you. All right. Hashtag ask the wrong Kristopher. Do you really buy into all the tasting notes that get thrown out on the YouTubes? I know what I like, but I never get all the crazy stuff that gets talked about.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's really going on there, Sean. And I mean this with all the love in the world. But bourbon as an
AWN.
Bourbon as a category is a very narrow, boring taste profile. So you're always going to pretty much get from a classic style bourbon. You're going to always get brown sugar, burnt toast, wood notes. I mean, it's a very marzipan as opposed to, or treacle as opposed to maple syrup. It's a very, very narrow taste profile. Most bourbons column still, which is also a very narrow, high factory processed spirit. If you want to have a tasting a channel that people respect your views and feedback, you're going to have to get creative with the descriptions. But really, you're really basically referring to the same 10 things: orange peel, some citrus notes, some brown sugar. I mean, it's all just, but they have to get creative with it.
Well, look, I've done food taste testing on this YouTube channel back when it was a comedy channel. And I can tell you that you can be creative and you can be descriptive. And I think what I'm going to do is start my own tasting YouTube channel. And I'll be, like, this tastes, I'm getting hints of giraffe dick in this. And I would just love to see people's reaction to that.
Like, how would you know what these things taste like? You're like, all right.
This tastes like a whale's vagina.
What's that thing called when you
things? Just random shit. Just see people lose their mind. I'd have the most expensive whiskeys, and I'd be like, "Yeah, this tastes like depression."
Have you ever? What's that thing called when you have sex in a morgue? That's what I'm getting. Hints of iodine and dying flesh.
I've got necrophilia. This has I'm getting hints of that is that embalming fluid? Yeah, it feels like I'm sucking a dead man's penis. This is weird.
I mean, I would love for Barry to just create a Barry's tastingnotes.com, and it's just all the different types of dicks that things taste like. Giraffe
Dicks and
dicks,
buttholes.
dead guys dicks.
Dicks and buttholes. That's usually that's my go-to. Is like I tasted like ice cream. I was like, God, I just like tasted like 17 different buttholes. Before I was done, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. But
all these different dicks, just tons of dicks.
Yeah, just every kind of possible dick it could taste like. These are all the notes in your whiskeys.
I don't know if you guys will appreciate this or not, but there is this Twitter account called Genders Today's. I think it's called Today's Genders. Let me see, and it's basically a YouTube account, or I'm sorry, a Twitter account that just says like what the gender of the day is. Actually, I think that's what it's called, gender of the day. Let's see.
Oh,
and here it is. Yeah, so it's a gender bot. That basically
nice.
like comes today's gender is a dangerous rat, or it just goes through today's gender is the smell of a childhood bat. I mean, just there's like tons of
really.
I mean, it's exactly what it is. Like today's tasting notes. Barry's tasting notes for today is a toaster in a bathtub, or just whatever.
This is outstanding. Maybe we're gonna make this happen. Like I don't have
Oh,
enough.
someone came up with a great Michael Cervantes. Great name for my fans.
Yeah.
Hard-ons.
Yeah. That was in the queue. Give me a goddamn minute.
I'm sorry, I got excited.
There. See, it's in the
queue. I got a total hard-on for it.
Hashtag Ask Kristopher. How about heart-ons for the Hart fan club? Okay.
Yeah, I'm in, buddy.
I have two more in the queue, or do you just want to read the chat and take over the whole goddamn show?
I'm sorry. Go.
Just fucking with you, buddy. Francisco Barca, hashtag Ask Kristopher. I was in Total Wine and didn't see the Prideful Goat. Is this because I'm in Austin?
No, Francisco. In short, the best way to put it is, and this is not me trying to brag, so let me say it and then shape it. Everything we have currently released is an immediate sellout. So the last time Prideful Goat was released in Austin was a few months ago, and we immediately, like that day, sold like 600 bottles.
Dang.
So we've got the next batch coming that was actually announced a few days ago on my Instagram and on the Prideful Goat. So batch 3 of the Prideful Goat will be released at the distillery this Saturday. I think we have 500 bottles available, and
probably going to
currently 470 of them are already claimed.
Really?
So by Saturday, all 500 will be gone. So if you go to Eventbrite, there's a Prideful Goat event in Eventbrite. You can look it up. You can register. There's a rule in Texas that if you want to buy from a distillery, you can only buy 2 bottles every 30 days. So you have to give them your driver's license. It's a whole stupid thing.
Wow.
That has Republicans. But then in October, we will bottle the rest of this batch. So we're only bottling 600 bottles this weekend. 500 are made available to the public. Then the other 2,000 bottles of this batch, which are going to go statewide, will be sent out in October through United Distributors. So Specs should see at least 1,000 of those bottles. A bunch of mom and pops will, those who are aware of the brand will immediately claim their share. And it should go out statewide in October. And at the same time, we are releasing the very first batch of the Baby Goat. And it's not y'all's pick yet. Your pick's coming.
Okay.
We're gonna nail that down. It'll be the first ever single barrel pick of Barry on Deck. But I did release the image. If you don't go to Instagram, because I found a better image that I put on my Facebook page. I don't know if you can. Yeah, can you?
Yep, I'm pulling up Facebook.
Yep, go to my Facebook page and pull up the latest post, and we announced the Baby Goat. This is what your bottle will look like, guys, except it'll have its own separate sticker that says Barry on Deck.
Heart. Yep, there it is. Peekaboo, right?
Yep, peekaboo.
Can I just
head
save the image down?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put this in there. Sorry, it's a whole process to do this shit.
But I appreciate.
This is why you have to have producers. Doing it on the fly isn't as easy as one might think.
But I appreciate your flexibility. I love you.
Here we go.
And that is what your bottle will look like, minus the Barry on Deck.
Oh, hold on. When I do that, it cuts your mic out.
Okay, there we go.
Let me hold on. Let me merge back. Okay, now your mic is on. Now they can hear you, but they're seeing the picture.
There you go. I see the picture. It's gorgeous. Look at
beautiful.
That sexy bottle. So that
tastes like goat dick. No, I'm just kidding. There's no hints of goat dick. There's no hints of baby goat dick. I'm getting of baby goat peen. Nope.
Yep. It's or in Spanish, chupacabra vedga or whatever. Whatever the
Chupa vedga.
Doesn't chupacabra mean goat sucker?
No.
And then just throw in dick.
Is that what that means? I don't think so.
Chupacabra means goat sucker.
Is that true? I don't believe that.
Yeah. Well, chupa mi vedga means suck my dick, and then chupacabra means and cabra's a goat. So I'm gonna say hints of goat dick.
Okay. Oh,
but that's it. That's the rye. Oh, what is that?
I don't know. That was supposed to be.
That's not me.
No, that was supposed to be something else. That was supposed to be our scene together. All right, so this is the bottle, though. Bottom line.
All right, that's the bottle. That's the bottle. So there will be a sticker on the side that says Barry on deck. It'll have your logo. Nice. It'll look gorgeous. There'll be probably about 200 bottles available, and you guys will make it available in the store. So you guys can literally buy it by the case. You could buy 6 bottles, and it should.
I'm planning on it.
If we suggested retail is $59.99, but if it goes through specs, it'll likely be closer to $50.
So people were already hit me up when we announced it back when we did the tasting, and I was putting it on social media. People were like, "Hey, can you get me a bottle? Can I?" I was like, "I've got to pay for the fucking bottles. Now, I'm not giving you. I'm not going and buying bottles and then giving you bottles. That's not how this works. No."
To be clear, I will pay for Barry's first 2 bottles.
No, you're not going to pay for my bottle. I'm buying my own bottle. I appreciate the kindness and the gesture that you've given me to put this show's logo on a bottle, a great bottle of whiskey at that. I'm not going to, no, I'm going to go out and buy bottles like everybody else, but there's need to be, now what I might do is, like you said, I might buy a case of 6 and do some giveaways and do some marketing with it, drink some of it, but I'm certainly not just just willy-nilly giving out bottles like I got it like that. There's only going to be, how many did we say?
So there'll only be 2,000 in Texas, and then
specifically of the Barry on deck.
Oh, like 200 bottles.
Yeah, which is about what you get out of a barrel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Now we have another question from Robert Likes Beer, so that's ironic. Robert Likes Beer has a question. #Kristopher. Do you have a favorite to make old fashions with? Mine right now is Whistle Pig Rye.
No, although I do keep an infinity decanter. There's a really cheap decanter I purchased. It was like some sort of, sometimes these things, they run specials on like Instagram or wish.com or whatever the case may be. I bought a real shitty decanter, and I throw anytime I have like the last few ounces of a whiskey bottle, regardless of what that whiskey is, it goes in that bottle. And when I make something like an old fashioned, I use that. So I don't have a favorite. Instead, I've got like this perpetual bourbon rye infinity bottle that I use to make my old fashions with.
Okay, fair enough. All right, next question. Mark G has I like that this turned into. I had a whole great topic planned. We may have to go over it a little bit. Are you going to be good with that if we go over?
Yeah,
something happened to me last night, and I've been saving this all day. Usually, I would have opened the show with it, but I was like, I'm going to save this to talk with Kristopher Hart. But I want to get a dream. But I want to get everybody's questions in first, because I'm also going to try to take time and cut these up and put them on TikTok too. So I kind of promote you and me and the segment and everything else, throw them on YouTube shorts. And so that's why I kind of like this idea of asking these questions. All right, this is from Mark G. #Ask Kristopher, does Ricky's Liquor buy Prideful Goat?
Yes.
Look how specific this is getting.
Well, Mark is tilting his hat. I get the impression Mark might be in the Houston Bourbon Society, because there are there's about 40 mom and pop stores that we work with throughout the city of Houston. And one of the ones early on that we developed a love for, a relationship with, was Ryan's Liquor in Spring and Ricky's Liquor a little further north, which is actually Bo's sister. And yes, we've done some picks with them. We've done some barrels with them, and we will be giving them the option to do their own single barrel pick of the Prideful Goat.
Nice. Okay, no more ask questions in the chat that I see, so let's get to a topic that I wanted to talk about. So, and if you have more, you can ask. Just do hashtag Ask Kristopher if you have questions about whiskey, bourbon, rye, whatever. Here's another one. God bless it. Hashtag Ask Kristopher. How does one join the Houston Bourbon Society? Great question, Michael Caravantes.
Michael, it is a Facebook group. You just look up the Houston Bourbon Society on Facebook. You can join. Anyone can join.
Boom,
answer
you're
a few
in.
questions. Boom, you're in. We do. The only thing I'll tell you is to have some thick skin. It is a large group of about 12,000 people. And there is a new user guide that we provided that answers all of the questions you might have getting into it. Most people who join will just kind of be lurkers for a while before they get too involved. But if you really do jump in and get involved, I think you can have a really good time. There's like 5 different types of people in that group, and I always the lurkers, the active, the people who get their feelings hurt, people who are they're snobs. I mean, there's a whole list of them. So
the idiots,
you can, yeah. Bear, are you in that group?
Yeah, I am in the group.
Yeah.
Oh hell! What the hell happened? We just lost him. It froze for a second. Oh, he just dropped. Well, he'll connect back, I promise. He'll be back, folks. Don't worry about it. Sean said Houston Bourbon Society, love that group. It is. It's very informative. They go through a lot of stuff, and to be honest with you, there is a little bit of shenanigans that go on in the group. If you're newer, don't get butt hurt, don't get your feelings hurt. But there's a lot of good discussions that go on too. So if you're into bourbons and whiskeys, then it's certainly a great place to be. He's back. You're back. I know you'd be back.
Oh my god! I'm so glad too. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just
okay,
loud and clear. Everything's great.
Yeah. Dude, I got all excited.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I just was like, I never have. I do my show all the time, but the only time I ever have technical issues is on your show, and I want to blow my brains out. But I'm glad we rebounded. What's your first topic?
Saved them for me. All right, one more. Ask Kristopher from Ben. What do you think about Bardstown? Had a blind tasting a few weeks ago, and they came out on top. I'd never heard of them before then.
If that's the one I think it is, which let me just look it up real quick. Bardstown, I believe that is a KBD product, which is the same people who make Willet pot still. Bardstown Bourbon. There's Bardstown Bourbon Company that's not who I'm... Yeah, okay, yeah. So the old Bardstown is a bourbon made by this company called Willet, or KBD, which is Kellogg... I forget, it's basically it's Kellogg Baby Dick, and it's an old company that's been around for a while. It's okay. They used to source whiskey, which was fantastic, but as things have become more popular, they've started making their own and putting it in there, and it's gotten better, but it still needs a little work.
Okay. Now, last night, Mr. Hart.
Okay.
I had a dream.
You said my name with your wife.
No.
Oh, nope.
But I did have a dream about my wife that she left me, that she divorced me. Now, this is a woman I have been with
about time. I'm sorry, wait, what was your question?
This is a woman I've been with since 1998. And we started, in fact, August 13th would have been our 23-year anniversary of our first date was August 13th, 1998. So it was just like 23 years, right? 23, yeah. We've been together for 23 years. We got married in 2004. I think that's when it was. Yeah.
You know what's amazing about that is I'm proud, really proud, because no one in my family has lasted longer than 10 years with a spouse. Mm-hmm. I'm proud that me and my wife's been together 15 years. Nice. But do you know how much more proud I would be to be able to say that our relationship began
23 years
before The Matrix came out? Like 1998.
Before Y2K. Yeah.
I mean, your relationship started when Full House was still on TV, I think. Like that's a pretty impressive relationship.
Let's see. 1998 headlines. Let's see what that is. Anyways, while I'm looking this up, Clinton becomes embroiled in the Lewinsky scandal, 1998, January 26. Holy shit. So we weren't together yet. August. Let's see. The day after we met, Gary Evans, infamous in New York's capital region for killing 5 people, escaped police custody and killed himself by jumping off a bridge.
What movies came out in '98? I feel like that's a better better search topic.
1998 movie releases.
When's y'all's anniversary?
Our wedding anniversary is July 1st, 2004.
No, your dating anniversary. When you met.
August 13th, 1998.
All right. Yeah, I heard you say August. I was hoping because my birthday was a couple days ago.
Oh, yes. Feature films released in 1998: The Big Lebowski, Saving Private Ryan, The Truman Show, which is ironic because my name is Truman. Okay. American History X, The Faculty, The Wedding Singer, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. This is a good year for movies.
Absolutely.
The Thin Red Line, Blade, The Parent Trap, Armageddon, Mulan, Wild Things.
Do you know why?
What? Rush Hour.
So
Something About Mary. Great movie.
If you're a fan of movie trivia, there was a changing of the guard in 1998 and 1999.
Oh, really?
Now the movie, yeah. So basically, in the 80s and 90s, you got your Steven Spielberg, you got your Quentin Tarantino, you got all your big guys, right? But there was this up and coming, brand new director people era around 98, 99, which led to the birth of things like Fight Club and The Matrix, the Coen brothers, Wes Anderson, all of his films, all of their stuff, their very first projects were really 1998. It's like the old guys were going away. We've got a new wave of different thinking directors, and that led to some of the most iconic films of all time. 98,
like
99.
The Waterboy.
The Waterboy.
Deep Impact. Mercury Rising.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the first Wes Anderson film, The Royal Tenenbaums, I think, but it was like 98, 99.
A Night at the Roxbury. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that came out here. Rushmore. Okay. Bride of Chucky. Well, can't win them all. Fallen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened with your wife? She left you for what?
So I had this dream. By the way, just shout out to 713 Hooligan. Appreciate the kind words, but he said Chris is my favorite guest every week now. You guys are both really funny on your own, but when you're together, you're killing it. Thank you, buddy. That's the whole point of this segment.
That's
we
really
appreciate
nice.
You. So I have a dream that my wife.
Just to be clear, that could have been a super chat and helped us both out, but that's fine. That's fine. You love us. We got. Just kidding. Your wife cheats on you.
My wife cheated on me 3 times, and then I find out, and I remember specifically in the dream saying, all of those years I spent on the road in IT and in comedy, and I never cheated on you. Why would you do this to me? And then she says, because I don't love you, and I want a divorce. And I remember, dude, I woke up and I was devastated. Have you ever had a dream like that where it's so, especially because my wife is everything to me. She's my whole world, right? So I was devastated. Now, here's what freaked me out. I roll over and she's not there. And then the panic set in. And I was like, wait a minute. Is this real? Terrifying. Yeah, I'm freaking out. So what happened is the cats were up and making noise and acting foolish, so she went and slept on the couch so they wouldn't wake me up, which is super sweet because she's the one with the real job that's got to get up at 5 o'clock a.m. So she's letting the fledgling YouTube fuckface sleep. That's how sweet of a woman she is. But, bro, first of all, the dream, I was so sad. I was devastated. Then I wake up and she's not, and I'm freaking the fuck out. So then I go in there and I see her on the couch, and I had to wake her up. I just woke her up. I kissed her. I was like, oh my God, I had the worst dream ever. I dreamed that you cheated on me. She goes, have you been in my phone? I was like, what? She goes, I'm just fucking with you.
Oh, first of all,
hilarious.
That's the best response. That's the best response you could have had.
The best.
You terrified me for a second.
Oh my God. Right?
So I know.
Look, you see what you've done? You've guilted my man Josh. Josh, buddy, thank you for your $20 super chat. That's super guilty.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to be funny. I'm sorry, buddy.
He said, let's go on and keep the party going. You know I ain't scared of no super chat, Barry. He's not. Josh is super generous. Absolutely.
You know what?
100%.
What would have been so funny?
Guilted him into this.
What would have been so funny was he ended that super chat with, all right, maybe not my favorite guest anymore. I was just.
Yeah. Also, fuck Kristopher. This will be the last $20 I ever send to this raggedy ass show. Josh, we appreciate you, buddy, man. Thank you for your kind words and for your generosity, the super chat. And Chris, I owe you $10 for after fees, of course.
Of course.
YouTube takes 40%, buddy.
Have you ever seen the? So I've noticed this to be true, but there have been times. There's been memes of this where it shows like a woman who has a dream and then dreams you cheat on her, wakes up mad at you.
Yes.
And
yes.
I thought for sure you were going to go in there and be like mad and not like, but no, you were like.
I was devastated. That's the thing is I wouldn't have even been mad. I was just crushed. I was heartbroken in the dream. And then when I woke up, because it felt so real, right? Like we were having a conversation in bed, I think, during the dream. That's why, not at the end, but I don't even know. And then the weird thing was, it wasn't even her for half the dream. Like it was her. And then at other moments in the dream, it wasn't her. So it wasn't even my ex-wife. It was just some random chick. I have no idea who the fuck it was. It was just the weirdest thing. And I just remember I haven't felt that sad in a really long time. Even getting laid off from ESPN, like it was a different kind of heartbreak. It was like, and then to go in there and to see her not in bed, and then that was just fucking. It was a whirlwind of emotions. It was pretty. Have you ever had anything like that? Have you ever done that?
Yeah. So my wife and I had this discussion recently. I have a buddy of mine who I'm sure will not see this. I shouldn't say this. I'm going to say it anyway.
I'm totally sending the link to your Facebook page on the front. Jay, check this out. I'm going to post in the Houston Bourbon Society. I'm just kidding. I'm going to do that to you.
So a buddy of mine who's been with his spouse for about 10 years, but it's been a miserable existence. There are some fundamental parts of a relationship that, and listen, I'm not a relationship expert by any means, guys, but I will give you some fundamental things that I think are very important to ensure the long-term success of that relationship. There are some fundamental things you can't have a part of your relationship if you want it to succeed. For instance, you shouldn't call each other names. You're going to fight. You're going to get angry. You can say, fuck this. Don't say fuck you. Yeah. One of the other things is there are some things that are fundamentally normal that some people have a hard time with. And for instance, my wife is a stay-at-home wife. She stays with the kids. We collectively did not want our kids to grow up in daycare. We wanted them to be more connected, more involved. So she's like, okay, I will give up my career. I'll stay home with the kids. My wife made a massive sacrifice. If all of a sudden my wife was just disappearing every Tuesday night for a couple hours, so she says, I'm going to go out and meet up with my friends. We're going to have a few drinks. The idea that she can go out and have a few drinks with her friends is normal and should be allowed.
Yes.
Totally fine.
Yes.
However, if all of a sudden you go from 10 years of never doing that to doing that quite frequently, you might feel your spidey sense tingling a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some time that you need to adjust. And it's all about adjusting. And I've mentioned this example before. When we first got into whiskey, I got up to like 20 bottles, and they were all on top of our fridge. And my wife was like, 20 bottles? People are going to think we're an alcoholic. That was my Jerry Seinfeld impression, 20 bottles. 20 bottles. She's like, people are going to think we're an alcoholic. And now we have like 1,200 bottles in the house, and we don't even think about it. So there's a transitional period of adjusting to a new way of life. Mm-hmm. So it's like the concept should be allowed. I should be able to go have a few beers with my friends, my brother-in-law. We should be able to do this. My buddy, his wife never adjusted. And for the last 10 years, every time he wanted to go have a simple drink with a few guy friends, it was a big deal to the point that he just caved in and backed down. Mm. And after 10 years, he cheated. Mm-hmm. I just think it's because of an unhealthy dynamic. I think an unhealthy dynamic, it's normal to have insecurities, and you should recognize that those insecurities of whether or not they should be valid, or if it just needs to be transitional, or if they're not valid at all.
Right.
And like the idea of tracking your mate, it's super weird.
Yeah.
It's completely
odd. If you're there, it's time to go. If that's where you're at, just get out.
Yeah. So, or recognize that is your own insecurity that you need to let go.
Yeah.
And so he she found a video of him and this other woman on his Apple Watch. What? And this is the sad part for me. I understand. Part of me understands fundamentally, if you're in a bad place, you might slip up and make a mistake, which is wrong and not okay.
Right.
But the part that really makes me sad is she forgave him and wanted to work through it. And he was like, "No, I'm good." And the idea of finding out not only that someone cheated on you, but they're not even sorry for it, and now that you found out they can leave you fully, is like a double heartbreak for me.
Yeah.
And
that's
so,
very sad, but she put him in that position. She drove him to that. Although,
well, I think it's a mix of both their fault. Like, one, stop being, pardon my French, but stop being a pussy.
Yeah.
You should be able to have a conversation with your spouse and say, look, I understand this is like, for instance,
my wife. I understand you're insecure about me going out. I understand, but you know what? If I'm going to cheat on you, there's nothing you're going to do to stop me. All you're doing is preventing me from hanging out with my friends.
I mean, the simple truth is my wife, like when we both had back-to-back babies, right as I had the idea of starting a business that involved me, and I think we've talked about in the show of going out. And I would go have meetings at bars with people, with brands and liquor brands, and like try to close the deal to get them to come to my event. That took an adjustment period. And it's because you go from working a job all the time to all of a sudden I'm out every night, just like with comedians. You guys are out every night telling jokes, farting in the mic, and if you're a good comic, there's a transitional period that's normal. Like let her feel what she's feeling; it's valid.
Right.
But y'all need to talk through it, and you both need to get over it.
Yep.
And that's that's all it is. It's like it's okay to feel a difficult transition, but
sure.
Work through it.
I mean,
don't just give up and create in a toxic environment to the point that eventually you both end up so miserable that you cheat on each other. And it's the worst part of it's what I think happened in this particular case. They were together for 10 years of her feeling a certain way, which could very well be valid, and then him, instead of working through it with her and standing his ground on healthy behavior, caved to the point that he became miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. So I don't think you're going to suffer that. I mean, you guys have been together so long. I think you guys are good.
Josh said, boy, I wish I could go. I could afford to go out and have a few drinks with my buddies, but these damn super chats.
That's so fucking funny. God, that is so comedically. That's so fucking.
Well done, Josh. God damn it. Carrying the chat. The chat.
God.
I heard something. So I was just like, my wife, I texted her. I was even sad at like 11 this morning. I was like, babe, I'm still like, it just bothered me. She's like, baby, I love you so much. I would never cheat on you. I would, and we've talked about that. Look, I would never cheat on you, and I would just leave. If I'm at the point where I don't want to be with you anymore, I'm just going to leave. I learned that lesson from my first marriage, right? Like I learned that at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest and true to what's in my heart. And if I don't love you anymore, or I don't love you enough that I would cheat on you with somebody else, then I know it's just time to check out. Like, let's just save each other the heartache and the misery of suffering through this relationship at this point. And I'll just tell you, hey, I don't love you anymore. I got to go, which just sucks. But I'd rather do that than cheat on her and then go down that route, right? So
my wife said the same thing to me. She said, if it got to that point, I would be done. And I'm like, for some reason, the idea, and I'm not asking for this to happen to me. God, please no. But the idea of a mistake and truly sorry and us fixing what's wrong with our relationship, to me, seems so much more desirable than going through the heartbreak of infidelity, and then also not even having time to work through that before she's just like, you know what, I'm done. Like it's a double whammy to me that's so gut wrenching. I love her to death. My wife is my world.
Yeah, I don't know that I would ever be able to get over being cheated on by Nora. Like just because of the amount of time invested in the relationship. Yeah, at this point, had we been 2 years in and she cheated on me, I'd be like, okay. But after 23 years, I don't know. After 23 years. For whatever the reason, I just don't think that, because you keep saying a mistake and working past it. I think for me, I'd be like, no, not going to work past that. No. Well, so that's why, but that's partially why it was so devastating in the dream. It was just like, oh my God, this is, all this relationship, and we've had a wonderful relationship. Like, it's just been amazing. We don't fight. We don't, like, I don't know. We don't fight over money. We're not a normal couple in a lot of ways. And I think that's partly why we've lasted so long. She's so chill, so easy to get along with. And, it's just, God, it would be one of those things where I don't think I'd ever get over it. And I mean, props to you. If you could get over your spouse cheating on you, there's no way I would.
So to me, and I'm realizing now as we're talking through it, to me, it comes down to, how did we get to this point?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something wrong? And if there's something wrong, can it be fixed?
Yeah.
And it's no different that when I have something like a pimple or I'm trying to think of an example, but if I get sick, if my body gets sick, I'm going to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And if something like that's happening, it could be something wrong with that person, right? There are some people who are habitual cheaters,
Mm-hmm.
but there also could be something wrong with the relationship. And if I'm already 15 years in, I'm going to do everything I can to save my family, depending on the circumstance.
Before you cheat?
Sometimes people love to ignore things. I got a great friend. I've known him for 20 years. He shaved his head the other day. I hadn't seen him. He decided to shave his head, and he's got this massive, and I'm not kidding you, it's an entire head, big red splotch. Big red, like a not like a sore
birthmark,
almost like a birthmark, but it's the entire half of his head, and it wasn't there before. I've known him since he was 15.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "What's going on with your head?" He goes, "I don't know, man. It's been there like a year." I'm like, "Well, go get it fucking looked at."
Wow.
He goes, "I just haven't cared." Turns out I made him go get it looked at. It's a fungus. He had sort of fungus that was like this small, and then it slowly spread until and I know, dude, people are like that. People will put off going to the doctor until their teeth are falling out and be like, all right, I guess I'll go to the dentist. And people will to prevent fighting, to prevent conflict, they will exist within a sick relationship for a very, very long time until you cannot ignore it anymore. And at that point, you either have to fix it or give up. And to me, there's something about what I want to save. And I'm totally asking to get cheated on. My wife's like, I gotta get a joke free card.
Wait a minute, so I can cheat and you'll work it out? What?
I mean, it'll come down to a few very important things. Number one question: is his dick bigger than mine?
I think that's a lot of guys, to be honest with you. Right? You'd be like, look, are you going to be thinking about him? You know, like, those are all, was it a one night stand? Was it a stranger? Was it someone that a friend? Was it somebody I know? Was it my friend? Was he better? Was he bigger?
Was he better? Did he do
all of that? And then when you think about that, when you're having sex with your wife again, what are you going to be thinking about? You're not going to be thinking about love and passionate lovemaking. You're going to be thinking about him. Because you're going to be wondering if she's thinking about him. That's why I say there's just no way going. I could not get past that after 23 years of marriage to my wife. I would be, and it's not just Nora. I'm saying in general, it's a flaw I have where I would not be able to let it go. I would not be able to, even if she was like, I didn't know the guy, I was drunk. I would still be like, I'm sorry. I just will never get over it.
Yeah. There's do you remember they're not called Lifestyle. The Hallmark movies back in the 2000s and 90s. There was a Hallmark channel. There were these movies that were always the worst, most fucked up things you've ever seen in terms of movies, but they were always about really hard situations like child's not yours. I remember this one thing that haunted me, and my mom and I had a long conversation about it. But this couple was camping in the woods, and this is going to get pretty dark, so bear with me here.
Okay.
The husband and wife were camping in the woods, and someone pretending to be a sheriff comes upon their campsite, checks on them, and is giving them a real hard time. And eventually overreacts and handcuffs the husband to the front bumper of the car as he's going through paperwork, blah, blah, blah. He slowly walks them into handcuffing them both to the front bumper, and then rapes the wife in front of the husband and tells him, if you look away, I'm going to kill her.
Oh, my God.
So the husband and wife just stare at each other. They stare at each other while the sheriff does his thing.
I told my mom, disturbing.
It's disturbing, right? But I told my mom, I was like, I there's no way I could deal through this. He goes, well, if you're ever in a situation where your wife is raped, if you can't help her get past it, if you can't get past that idea and to where you can become intimate again, she'll never get past it. It'll ruin your whole marriage. And at that point, she's a victim twice.
Right.
Her husband doesn't look at her the same. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's really, really
I
hard.
I think that I could deal with because I think that's and by the way, we probably should have said there was a trigger warning on the conversation. Suck
it up. We're adults.
But I think that I think I could deal with that. Like I would want to help her get past that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would.
Of course.
I think that's a lot different than betraying my trust and betraying our intimacy and betraying our relationship. Like neither one of us would have asked for that. But that I get it. But that is like super disturbing. But I think you wouldn't be able to deal with that.
I mean, no. I think that at this point, I think I can deal with anything. It'd be hard. It'd be difficult. I'm going to bawl like a baby.
Yeah.
And sorry for Donna makes a very good point. She said, this is a Hallmark moment we didn't need to know about. No,
this is a Hallmark movie? God damn. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, they used to, we call them, I think Tom Segura calls them white bummer movies, where they're just, they're just movies meant to make you feel bad.
Like,
you know? Yeah, I mean, ultimately it was a comedy and it was hilarious. But the important, I think I could get past anything. And at this point, we have 4 kids, been together 15 years. I think I would do everything I could, because also I know what it's like to have kids grow up in separate households with different parents, and even if you're both caring and loving, those kids are affected by that, and it's something that I would do whatever I could to bear that weight, and so that my kids didn't have to.
Yeah, but
think
you
about
also
it that
have
way,
to.
Barry.
So first of all, me and my wife don't have kids. But second of all, as a child of divorce, my parents got divorced when I was 6.
Barry, you have a cat, and that cat would be greatly affected by you two splitting up over your wife's shitty infidelity.
True. I think that there's what am I trying to say here? There's growing up as a child of divorce and seeing a toxic relationship can be just as bad as your parents splitting up. I think it's how the parents handle the divorce or the separation too, right? Like if one of the parents is making it difficult, then that makes it worse. Tell your dad he's a piece of shit, or tell your mom she's a lying slut, like that. You know what I mean? Like then you're dragging the kid in the middle of it, and that makes it a whole lot worse. I think families can function in a separation or divorce, but that's up to the maturity of the parents.
I agree.
And it's better than forcing a kid to go through a toxic relationship.
Okay, so I don't disagree with that, and I'm not saying that you should always forgive. It all depends on the circumstance. It depends on how damaged this relationship is. It depends on the people involved. I get all that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that for me personally, in my situation, we have a fantastic marriage. We are extremely grateful. I'm extremely thankful. I think that even in the best possible set of circumstances, children, just by the nature of growing up in 2 different households, are going to be in some way traumatized from that or damaged by that, even if both parents handle it in the most positive of ways. Okay. Depending on the situation, I would do everything I could to find out what was sick and try to heal it versus immediately cave up just because I can't get over something.
That's commendable, though. I mean, that's commendable to try to.
I mean, I'm a very commendable person, Barry. You know, I do what I can.
Hey, tell the people where they can listen to the show, where they can find you every week on ESPN.
On a much more positive note.
Well, we're in overtime. It's 4:20. I gotta pee. Talk about
Hippo Dick again.
I got shit to do before Sports Riot starts. Don't forget Sports Riot Live, twitch.tv/Sports Riot Live. We're gonna go to live tonight, 7:00 on Twitch. More shenanigans with Mike Liebeshock and John Westling and myself. But until then, they can go listen to your podcast or your show, or they can listen live. Tell them how to find it.
Yeah, so the show's on ESPN 97.5 every week. We've got a new episode coming out this week, and I'm actually really excited about. I'm interviewing John Polano. John Polano created a Broadway play back in 2011 called Small Engine Repair. It's about these three Boston friends. They're both, barely graduated high school. They barely talk anymore because every time they go out, something bad happens. They go out, have a fist fight in a bar, whatever the case might be. What ends up happening is he ends up bringing the friends together for a very dark and nefarious reason in his auto body shop one night under the guise of having a few drinks and catching up. But there's a more nefarious reason that has to do with toxic males in growing up, the high school, the popular guy whose dad's rich, and some of the bad things that can happen from that. It's a fantastic film. They sent me a screener. It comes out on September 10th. We're going to talk about what it's like raising daughters in today's current sexual environment and the coming of age. I was a little skeptical when his publicist reached out to me, but then I watched the film, and I've got daughters this age. My mind was blown. It was incredible. Small Engine Repair. John Polano, check it out. The episode will drop this Friday at 3 a.m. on all your podcasting platforms, and of course, the weekend on ESPN 97.5.
There you go. That is Kristopher Hart, two fancy guys. What a fun episode. As always, we got dark, we got serious, we got laughs, we got a $20 super chat out of guilt. This is just, it had it all. Buddy, I appreciate you, man, as always. Thank you for being here.
I love you so much, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. That is Kristopher Hart. I love that dude. I love this segment. It is fun times every single time. And that is another episode of Barry on Deck. I don't know why I feel like I'm having one of those, what do they call them, ocular migraines. Everything's getting like blurry and weird. I don't know if I'm having a heart attack or a stroke or what. Maybe I just need to eat. That could be it too. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into the program. Tomorrow, don't forget, Jerome Solomon going to join me on the show for his weekly visit of Anything Goes with Jerome Solomon. Also, it's a Whisker Wednesday. I'll have one more dog and cat brought to you by Special Pals. And more shenanigans and fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Love you all to death. Until we do it again tomorrow, I need y'all to do me 3 favors. Be safe. Be kind. And most important, love each other. I'll see y'all tomorrow.